Hello everybody, this is Alex from Hardcorian Guys, bringing you my guide for God of War Ghost of Sparta on God difficulty. Today we're doing part 2, entitled The Caldera. This will I think it pretty much includes all of the first volcano section. I think we come back here later. I don't remember dead offhand, but real quick, there was actually a death that I accidentally left unedited, because I do a new way of editing videos now where I'll actually just edit the footage inside of Elgato and then just kind of port it from there, and mistakes happen. Also, these little guys are obnoxious. They don't do like a ton of damage. I mean, the thing with health in God of War that you kind of have to remember is that for the most part, health does regenerate whenever you do die. Like, you'll get some health back, typically. And it looks like this game does that, but I think there's a limit to it. So I'm not too worried about taking a bit of damage here and there. It's not a big deal. Now, if I had to give any advice for how to take out the bugs on the ceiling, my advice would be, once you start getting like too close, they'll start spitting at you. And I would suggest one or two things. Either just tank the hits like I did and just go through it and just do whatever, or you could always try to like dodge left and right beforehand. Like if you know when they're gonna shoot, which it's kind of hard to tell exactly, but I usually just tank it myself. But still though, like if you know when they're gonna shoot it, dodge left or right and wait for them to come closer to you, and then you can just swipe them that way. Because like I think like once they get close to you, they don't seem to attack very often at all. Real quick, I found this out on mostly just by pure accident, and I guess you could say experimentation. I'm used to God of War Chains of Olympus, right? So I'm not used to the fact that you can parry these enemies. I didn't know that. But yes, you can actually parry these enemies. You'll hear an audio cue when they'll make the scream noise right before they land. Now, when that audio cue is done playing, they're like when it's playing, they're like a second away from basically landing the hit. Now, of course, this first fight, you could do what I'm doing and just roll away. I did see, I think in that same person's run, I think somebody said like, hey, I didn't know that you could just jump and it'd be a dodge. The person in question I watched to get an idea of how long or where I was at in terms of like lengthwise through God of War, Ghost of Sparta. The STI Bill guy, I think I mentioned in the last video. I'll have to go find his thing again real quick, I guess. I know I keep bringing him up, but like I didn't use him for like any guide tips or anything. He just actually has some pretty decent stuff that he was doing I didn't know about. And I saw, like I said in the comments, I wasn't really paying attention. I was just kind of like skimming through looking for levels. And in it, like I said, I was reading the comments and somebody mentioned like, oh, you can jump the harpies and that could be a dodge. And I was like, oh, okay. So I tried it out a little bit there, to be honest. That's kind of what I do, from time to time. Like I'll watch people play a game and see how far. Yeah, ST Bill, like capital STB and then lowercase I and then capital LL. We'll probably mention him again later when I get to the Arms of Sparta section, and I'll talk about like this thing I didn't know about, but he did on his own. So shout outs to that YouTube channel for helping me out a little bit and figuring things out. But yes, you can parry the red harpies, because there's like 3 different harpies in this game. You can parry pretty much every single one of them, and the third harpy in question is not really a harpy. It takes on the same role that old harpies used to take on. It's the birds, and it's like the death birds. You'll see what I'm talking about when we get there. But that's not, at least for a while, at least a few videos from now. Speaking of videos, I don't mean to bring it up in like a bad light or anything, so don't worry. Also, I forgot that I was supposed to run away here. Real quick, the automaton does kill me, but I'll explain some automaton stuff in a second. I was surprised that I actually got a decent amount of views on my first video for this. I was like, okay, wow, I came back. I uploaded it, it came back, and I was at like 50, and I'm like, oh, okay. Cool. Alright, anyway, guide time. So the automatons can only be destroyed with Thera's Bane. And Thera's Bane, I will probably end up upgrading, I think, all the way through. I think I do it like Blades, Thera, Blades, Thera. So that's kind of how I do it, mostly. So a couple of little pointers. So as you see, well, I got hit there. I don't know why the hell I got it. It happens. It's gotta work. Go to Sparta. It's weird. You can parry almost every attack, I think, except for the overhead. So this one you can parry, and then you can, if you do a parry attack, you'll have that explosive core that will show up on the enemy. And notice how, of course, whenever it blows up, you know, that can be parried too, I believe. I wouldn't try to block it. I would say just go for a parry instead. Now, I think you're only allowed up to maybe 4 to 5 different explosive cores. The Plume of Prometheus being one of them, that would be a core. And yeah, see, it's gone now. You can no longer do any more stuns. But for the most part, automatons are not too bad to take down. They're actually relatively pretty easy. Mainly because of the fact that they're really well telegraphed. Because you can just tell when that wind-up's coming. And then I usually just back off after I do a parry, just in case. Because I half expect that they're probably going to do a stomp move. Because like sometimes like they'll get, you know, too close. I mean, I'll get too close and they'll just do a stomp and then there you go. Also, yeah, I may have took a lot of damage there, but it's God of War, so it's going to happen. Sometimes I get hit pretty hard. And then I'm just like, fuck it, whatever. I'll get the health back. It's no biggie. It's typically how I am with God of War games. Which, by the way, I do want to say, like, I do like this game, but... Well, okay, now that I know the trick with the wraiths, it's better on God mode, but, yeah, I just... I don't know. Maybe it's, in my opinion, it's one of the weaker... Oh, it's no God of War 4. Give me God of War difficulty, though. Type bad. If you like Give Me God of War, that's fine. I'm just saying that I really do not like God of War 4's difficulty setting. It was whatever. And to be fair, I've never beaten Ragnarok's difficulty setting yet. I've never beaten Give Me God of War on God of War Ragnarok because that thing is like 200 fucking gigs big, and I don't like having it downloaded because I play on console like a fucking pleb. So, you know, it is what it is. What else could I possibly talk about real quick that might need to be talked about? Nothing much, really. Like I said, I uploaded episode 1, and I was kind of half expecting, or mostly expecting, I don't keep saying half expecting for, it's like my new phrase now all of a sudden. I was expecting that no one would give a shit, because I've been gone for like 9 months, with 2 months ago I made a update video and all that, so, real quick, back to the guide. Just real quick. So, the fun thing about Minotaurs now that we have Thera's Bane is every explosive core will knock them on their ass. So make sure that you go for parries and just go for those explosive cores. Like, every time after you do a parry, do a Plume of Prometheus, square, square, triangle, and just get that free fucking explosive core, and you can just eliminate a Minotaur in almost mere seconds. Well, not mere seconds, but, you know, you can definitely eliminate them a lot faster than you could have before. I can tell you that much. I think every one of those swipes, I think, is a parryable hit. And also, be glad that these Minotaurs are not the ones from Chains of Olympus, because most likely they wouldn't be parryable. I mean, I think they're supposed to be the ones of Chains, but Ghost of Sparta changes up a lot of things mechanically. Of course, you know, one of those things being the obvious, like, oh yeah, you could just parry pretty much damn near everything. Even the Harpy's slam attack can be parried. I didn't know that until I figured it out on accident, or I just guessed, and I was like, okay, it actually works. So, there's that. But anyway, back to talk about my bullshit, I guess. By the way, I won't be using magic for a while, so don't worry about that. Yeah, I was gone for a while because I have other things I'm supposed to technically be doing, but I never... Yeah, it's neither here nor there. I'm dumb. You know, I got things I want to do, but I can't seem to get the motivation to do them half the time because I'm dumb. That's beside the point. The real point is... So I was trying to do the Carl from Aqua Teen voice. I keep trying that out. The real point is that I came back, saw that I had a decent audience again, and I'm like, oh, wow. You guys want to see this stuff. Likes, you know, they don't really help me figure out whether or not people like it. I mean, if I had like 50 likes or whatever, that would be a guaranteed tell, like, okay, yeah. Also, by the way, these guys are just bugs. You just grab them. No, nothing. But I will say though, I appreciate people watching my content again, because like it was scary coming back, thinking no one would care, and then a few people did, of course, but then you start to see more, and you're like, oh wow, okay. Either this is completely new people watching my content, which of course, hello, you're always welcome to watch, even for entertainment factor. I do it for both. I do it for guides, and I do it to yap. So whenever we have downtime, I'm allowed to yap about whatever, which is pretty much right now. But yeah, it could be completely new people. It could be my old fans. Hell, it could be because I made a post on my other YouTube channel, my Let's Play channel, which I'm trying to take a break from doing Let's Plays. What describes as a Let's Play is something that's essentially like, oh, I have to play a game, and I have to show off the cutscenes, and I have to do this, that, and the other. So, yeah, I don't know. My way of considering what a Let's Play is kind of weird anyway, because I thought about doing Ninja Gaiden Black, but I'll just be skipping the cutscenes because I don't want to watch them again. And something else too, like RE4, but, part of me is like, oh, you should have the cutscenes in, but then another part of me is like, eh. Speaking of RE4, in terms of difficulty modes, I tried playing hardcore just because the first time I beat the game for remake, RE4 remake, I beat the game a long time ago when it came out, and standard mode's fine. It's an okay game. It's not that bad. But when I got to professional mode, I struggled immensely, and I was like, okay, this is odd. So I put it down for a while, came back, played the game again, tried on hardcore, and I noticed that something was off. It was proving my point. My point being that you can no longer just get a headshot into a kick combo. You can't do that like you could back in RE4. OG RE4, which pissed me off. By the way, there was a death here because I wasn't paying any attention. And yeah, there's a quick time event. We're about to end the video, but just real quick, I don't like RE4 remake on any difficulty besides standard. It doesn't feel right to me. And then I played a bunch of Mercenaries last night, had a hell of a blast, because I think the Mercenary mode was actually really good and really enjoyable, because I love how you can just shoot enemy in the head and get the normal old-fashioned combo regardless of character. So there's that. Okay, we have like a couple minutes left. But yeah, for the most part, most of this section right here is just, it's nothing but quick time events and all that fun stuff. If I remember correctly, I think this boss does come back later. I think. Look, it's been a bit since I played it. I mean, I know like a whole entire, like I played it on the weekend. Yes, the weekend. I'm recording this Monday, like February 10th or whatever the hell it is. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm recording this after work. Because it was like a 15-minute video, I said, why the hell not? Oh, and real quick, for those that might be new to this particular video, you didn't watch the first video, I don't know where everything's at, so apologies ahead of time. I'm pretty sure I missed some type of item here or there. I'm not really sure, but just forewarning, I don't know where all the chests are at. I'm not a Ghost of Sparta player, so a lot of stuff is kind of me just experimenting and figure things out again on how to play God of War Ghost of Sparta the best I can, which luckily Ghost of Sparta still acts like a God of War game from classic God of Wars, and I appreciate that wholeheartedly because, man, if there's one thing I do not like, it's Ascension and God of War 4. That's for sure. Ragnarok was okay, but Ascension on Titan mode pisses me off to the highest hells or whatever. That game just infuriates the hell out of me, like big time. This game though, once you really figure it out and you kind of understand what works and what doesn't, it starts to really kind of open up a lot more than I thought it used to. By the way, I hope you enjoyed this God of War 2 section, because a lot of Ghost of Sparta seems to take ideas from it being a sequel, and it just seems to do things like God of War 2 kind of did. Not all the time, but like there's sequences here and there that are like, oh my god, that's just God of War 2. And this is definitely one of them. So my trick is just climb up twice, jump to the left, climb up twice, jump to the left, yada yada yada. Once you hit up here to the cutscene, and that will be it. So anyway, hope you all enjoyed. I forgot how my outros even work, but anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you all next time for some more God of War Ghost of Sparta on God difficulty. And of course, as always, take care, everybody.